I'm Theresa Fama. So here we are seeing this first quilt here is the story of Sweetwater. It's the legend of how it was discovered. So legend has it North American First Nations were the first to discover Sweetwater. So here we have the First Nation chief one night. This is how it comes about. He puts his tomahawk into the tree for the night. Gets up the next morning and there's water dripping from his tomahawk. Puzzled, he tastes it and it tasted pretty good. So he decided to put a vessel down at the bottom of the tree to see how much it was going to collect. And he was off for the day. Later that day, his wife, cooking some meat, is walking down to the creek to get more water to add to the meat when she realizes there's a vessel of water already beside this tree. So she picks it up, puts it in the meat. And as you can imagine, within no time, the aroma in the air started smelling very sweet. They say by the time it was cooked, it tasted out of this world, right? So I have this image like candied venison, right? So that's where the Sweetwater name actually came from. So over here, I painted an image of the first chief sharing the knowledge years later with the French settlers when they came to Canada. On this image up here, I have 2 First Nation ladies and 2 French settlers, which is how I came to be. So I made this quilt to enter in a challenge for the theme called Textures of Canada. And it was accepted recently by the Grand National Fibre Exhibition to travel across Canada, and it's going to start traveling June 2026 until June 2027, starting in BC and working its way across to New Brunswick. The theme this year was Textures of Canada. That's why I've got the Rocky Mountains, the Inuksuk, the Canadian geese, which I painted, by the way, this is painted. The trees are fabric, but everything else I painted on. The maple leaves, the moose, the beavers.
And when what kind of cloth is this?
What kind of what?
The cloth?
Oh, it's cotton.
It's cotton.
Yeah, it's cotton. Yeah.
And this is
Same thing, it's cotton. Right? So these are appliquéd on, and this is painted right on the fabric.
yeah, look at the birds.
Yeah, you can touch it. I'll let you.
Yeah, look.
Right? And that's my Sweetwater quilt.
Yeah.
But over here, I've got the honoring our grandmother's quilt that I made specifically for this event. And as you can see, I've got all the grandmothers in window panes. And these are my actual grandmothers, my mom, and my aunts. So underneath each window frame, you'll see an extension number. And the extension is the date they're born, right? And I've got images on here where things we did with our grandmothers, like they taught us how to make preserves, how to be grateful for your food, bake cookies together, we fished together, we went for walks. You cannot make a grandmother quilt if you're in my age group without the old wringer washer. You've got to have that on there, right? So in this image I've got, this one represents me, and I'm looking up at all the grandmothers and the aunts and I'm remembering them. And I've got my Métis flag, I've got my cell phone, and I wrote, "You have reached the grandmother's Windows hotline. If you know the extension of the grandma you'd like to speak to, enter it now. Otherwise remain on the line or press 0 for a list of the grandmothers."
That is so creative.
Right?
Yeah.
And my maternal grandmother, extension 6, is a midwife, or was a midwife. And on the picture right beside her, I actually wrote midwife, extension 6, because she was and this is her delivering baby Helen and passing over to the mom. So this is I make story quilts. That's what I do. I'm actually quilting my memoirs and now quilting my heritage as well. So
And then this is a book that
this is a book I wrote after I made my first story quilt, and I started sharing the stories, and people started saying, "Theresa, you need to write a book," right? So I wrote this book, and it is all about my childhood home, right? And there's like 700 images in it. There's stories about the actual quilt that I made. There's every single local family who lived in Thunder Bay Beach while I grew up is in my book. Not only their names, but their pictures as well. And we were a small community. We were like 22 or 23 families. So I played at most of their houses. So I have stories about each house that I played at, and and stories of cottagers who made a difference in our life, right, in the local people's lives. So, right, and that's my little story.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, thank you so much.
You are welcome. Thank you for being interested.
This story was supported by the Local Journalism Initiative.